So, first of all, just thank you for taking the time to talk with me today. I've been following you and your career for a few years now, ever since I read your book, Crush It. And I have to admit, I've reread that a few times, and it's all dog-eared and underlined, and I have a whole notebook of notes from it. It was totally awesome.
Thank you so much.
No
Means a lot
problem.
to me.
No problem. And just to give you a sense of who my audience is before we move into the questions, through my company, Calm Biz, I work with yoga teachers who are ready to turn their yoga teaching, quote-unquote, hobby into more of a career, either part-time or full-time work, and to give them something that's really fulfilling, sustainable, and fun. So, yeah, I love the work I do. I teach yoga and then have also branched out into this because I've had so many other teachers come to me for advice in this regard. So,
awesome. Good for you.
Thank you. And so if you're ready, we'll dive right into the questions.
Let's do it.
All right. So, as you may or may not know, yoga teachers, they tend to be very passionate, heart-centered individuals who teach because they love it and they feel like it's their true calling in life, but that often means they do it for very little money or sometimes for no money at all. So, something I would wonder on their behalf is, what would be some advice you would give to someone who is just starting out and ready to start thinking about their passion as more of a source of income and a business?
Well, first you just really have to decide what drives you. I mean, for plenty of people, the thought of, running a business that they love and making $40,000 a year is unbelievable. And for other people, doing what they love and running a business for $400,000 a year sounds terrible. They need to make $1 million. So first you have to really look inside yourself and know who you are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, totally.
So that's definitely number one. After that, if you can be both. I mean, listen, I want to buy $1 billion sports franchise, but I also love teaching and giving back, and look what I'm doing even here, right? I mean, my handlers are plenty pissed that I'm taking 15 minutes a day and doing interviews at CNN and Inc. and the New York Times with blogs and sites that they think don't have a lot of traffic. But I believe in it, and it makes me happy. So you have to basically decide what you're really, passionate about and where you sit on these things. Once you decide that, okay, this is my passion, but I do have other parts of me that want monetary things or give my family certain things, you need to start reverse engineering and finding out a practical way to monetize it. That can go in a series of ways: selling services, selling advertising, selling product. There's a lot of ways to make money. You just need to figure out what's best for you and what you're capable of and best at within that genre.
Yeah, definitely. That's some great advice. And I would say for me, what I do is definitely a niche business. How important do you believe a niche is, especially when you're starting out?
I mean, it's kind of like capturing your voice. I mean, some people are meant to be, Barack Obama, and some people are meant to be first grade teachers, in Iowa, right? And they have very different jobs and different amplification, but they're really in the same business, operating and inspiring and driving and things of that nature. And so, a niche is great, but, my niche is the world of business. That's not that small of a niche. Right?
Yeah.
Now, you may say that it's the niche of social media, and I would say that's right, but it used to be e-commerce, just the internet wasn't evolved yet, and I wasn't out there talking about it. And in the future, it might be about education for me. So I think the niche matters. But what matters more is where can you provide value?
Yes.
So if your value is only within a very small niche, that's what you need to focus on. If you can think that you can play with the big girls in a bigger genre and compete to be the next Oprah, well, then play in that sphere.
Yeah, awesome. So it's really about knowing yourself.
Self-awareness is the secret to the whole thing.
Yeah, and so I guess kind of jumping off that, in your estimation, how do you know intrinsically if you have what it takes to turn your passion into a viable career, or if it should just remain a hobby?
I have no idea. That's the truth, right? Meaning, let me explain. To me, it's always been obvious, and I don't even know how somebody couldn't know if they were good enough or not.
Yeah.
Mainly because I have so much self-awareness, right?
Yeah.
I know that I couldn't be the quarterback of the New York Jets. I know that, people are delusional. Like, how many people go out to American Idol and think they can sing?
Yeah. No, that's true.
So I'm not sure, but I will tell you this. if you can find the right kind of people around you, here's the most practical way. I actually do have an answer. If you can find 5 or 6 people that you love and respect and come from different angles, your mom, your dad, your best friends, your brothers, sisters, acquaintances, and really tell them that you're thinking about this, and no bullcrap, your feelings won't get hurt. Like, really no bullcrap. To ask them to give them their POV, you might be able to collect some data of the people around you that know you best to get a feel if you don't feel like you have to feel for yourself. Because, for example, I would never ask anybody that.
Yeah.
Because I have more than enough self-awareness and belief in my heart that I don't need that. And as a matter of fact, the only reason I ever ask is just so I get some news so it can motivate me and drive me. But then again, I know I need the competition to get excited.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I understand, because I never saw another path for myself. It was always, I have to turn my passion into my business. It's the only way I'm going to be happy. And yet I see it, and it pains me, because yoga teachers are so passionate. They love what they do, and yet so many of them have self-doubt that they could actually turn it into a viable source of steady income. Yeah.
Yep.
I guess in order to maybe pump up some of their confidence, I'm wondering, who do you turn to? What blogs or thought leaders of the business realm would you recommend, looking into, reading books from, and blogs by?
So, I've read like 3 books in my life. I do read Trends. I read Ad Age and TechCrunch and TechMeme and things like that to keep on trend. But I don't go anywhere for inspiration because I'm pretty inspired within myself.
Yeah, you seem like a busy guy.
That being said, I'm not saying that because I'm cool. I actually think that's a flaw of mine. I'm inspired by people interaction. So I just got back from South by Southwest, where there's a ton of brilliant people. The serendipity of walking into any taco stand, you're going to meet amazing people. So I would say it's less about consuming and more about living. Put yourself in a position to be inspired. I'll tell you one thing I would definitely do. If I was a yoga instructor, I would map the 40 yoga instructors that I believe in the world, whether they're famous, whether they are successfully running 40 yoga studios, whether they are teaching new learnings, and I would go and pay to be in their class, work for them as an intern for free. I don't think people spend enough time with winners enough at their own expense. They want to get paid to hang around winners. That's left for all the other super A winners.
Yeah.
And so I really think like getting value out of winners, however you can, even if you have to sleep on your brother's porch, is worth it.
Yeah. No, that's awesome, because I think something at least yoga teachers do struggle with is they'll take yoga training after yoga training and have so much knowledge but have no business concept, no business knowledge.
That's right. And so if you want to be a business person, go and hang out with business mentors and do it for free if you have to. I mean, that's the thing I don't understand. People go and pay hundreds of thousands of dollars for school, which is not practical, but then won't go and intern somewhere because they think they should be paid for that. It's ludicrous. Yeah,
exactly. So just a couple final thoughts here. For someone, there's a lot of yoga teachers who are very reluctant to have a web presence. They shy away from getting a website, doing Facebook, all that, because they're local and they think, what's the point if I'm local? Can you maybe outline just a couple benefits that local teachers can get from having a presence online?
If you don't have a presence online and you're a local teacher, you're doing a massive disservice to your business potential, period. Yeah. As a matter of fact, in my opinion, if you don't have a Facebook fan page for your yoga business or a Twitter account, and even at this point an Instagram account, you actually don't physically exist. And so the reason local matters is because you can play locally. You can search Twitter conversation just within a 10-mile radius of your studio. You can post Facebook status updates just to your city. If you want to play local, play local. On the flip side, take a page out of what happened with me. I was a local business, but because of the content I put out, I became a national player. Yeah. And so, if you become religious about how you make your money, it's a good way to go out of business. If you're just thinking selling, lessons is the way you should do business, you're nuts. You may make a video where you have a statement that you go and say, yoga is like sleeping. Everybody needs to do it. That might go viral. I mean, you can make $40 million a year selling T-shirts. I mean, people are not thinking of multiple revenue streams, which is nuts to me. I mean, that's why. The potential, those are home run at bats. Why are you thinking local? Think global and end up doing local business.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And it's all about adding value. I'm like, it's a way to give your students another way in. It's totally worthwhile. So, Just one more question for you. I'm wondering if you've ever done yoga.
So that's really interesting. Only a little bit, maybe twice with my daughter in her little yoga class.
Oh,
which
fun.
means no. But it's weird. It's weird that you said that. I've been having a weird feeling. So I'm not great at working out, right?
Yeah.
And I like playing tennis and basketball. I'm very competitive, but not with myself, which doesn't make me want to do a lot of things, right? Like run or weightlift.
Yeah, totally.
Lift weights. However, I'm a really zen character deep down for all my insanity and like hustle and business stuff.
Yeah.
And I've been having these weird inklings lately that yoga's for me.
Really?
And so, yeah, it's been something I've thought about twice this year out of nowhere, including like a little portion of my back is always very tight because of growing up carrying cases of beer in the liquor store. I've been having weird feelings. Now, the problem is I'm so insanely busy and I need flexibility. I gotta make it a priority. I'm making excuses. But I've definitely been thinking that yoga's got a shot for me, and I've been thinking, it's weird that you asked that. I've been thinking about it.
Yeah, well, that's awesome, and I don't know if you realize this, but I don't think too far from you. I grew up in Hunterdon County, and I went to Hunterdon Central.
Holy crap!
And and I live in Buckingham, Pennsylvania now, right near Doylestown. So if you ever want a private lesson sometime or a family lesson, you let me know.
I will. I may take you up on that. I mean, obviously, I don't have to be New York City's too far, so maybe when I'm in Hunterdon County, so I'll let you know.
Sounds great.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to